This is a review on Halloween candy from Tales from the Dark Side. Nasty old Mr. Killip loves using Halloween as an excuse to be cruel to children, but this year he's in for a surprise. Roy Pearl plays Mr. Killip, Tim Choyote as Michael Killip, which is his son, David K. Verney as the medical examiner, and John Alred Allen as the monster. So, it's Halloween, kids are trick-or-treating, getting plenty of candy. Michael Killip is visiting his elderly father. He takes his father's cigarette away, but Mr. Killip simply lights another one. Mr. Killip tells his son that he hates Halloween and kids begging for candy. He complains that the children soak his windows and toilet paper his trees. Michael tells him that he is because he did not give them any candy. Mr. Killip doesn't think that kids should expect candy, but his son informs him that they do, because his mom always gave the kids candy. Michael admits that even when he was a child, he played tricks on those who would not give out candy. Michael goes into the kitchen and begins sorting out the Halloween candy to the bowls. As he does, Mr. Killip mentions that he is now the meanest man on the block. Michael closes the refrigerator, remarking that it has not closed correctly in 9 years. When Mr. Killip asks him what he's doing, Michael brings the candy into the living room, telling his dad to give it out because he does not want to end up cleaning up the soap windows or toilet paper from the trees. He tells his father he bought some Halloween candy to give out. Mr. Killip feels like it's a waste of money. Michael insists that his father give out the candy and is completely capable of doing so. Michael makes the point that Halloween does not last forever. Mr. Killip still does not want to do it in the fact. He mentions that he's lucky one of the trick-or-treaters will drop dead on his porch of a sugar overdose. When Michael's getting ready to leave, Mr. Killip asks him to lock the windows. He says he does not want children to try to get in the house. When he doesn't give him the candy, Michael again tells him the solution to this is simply to give out candy. Mr. Killip gets up slowly and makes his way over to the window. He opens his blind, showing the lock with a sigh. Michael locks the window. He then takes the Tootsie Roll and gives it to his father. As Michael is headed out the door, Mr. Killip is still complaining about trick-or-treaters. He feels that once the doorbells begin ringing, they go on forever. Michael tells his father that he's always been welcome to move in with him. Mr. Killip, however, thinks that if he's not at home to protect the house, the kids will burn it down. Michael tells his father he'll be back in the following evening since there's almost no food in the house. Mr. Killip admits that he's always feeling hungry. He says there is nothing else for him to do but eat. Michael tells his father to not eat all the candy himself and leaves. As Michael is leaving, Mr. Killip opens the front door. He asks his son to bring him some waffles when he comes back. Real ones, not ones that are pulled out of a carton. Michael tells him that he wants to see all the Halloween candy gone when he gets back. He tells his father that it's not nice to the children who will deserve whatever he gets from them. He closes his father's sweater? That makes no sense. The two exchange an almost friendly glance and then Michael leaves. Okay. So right away we see that the father and son don't have a good relationship. Then the next act. The child in a bunny costume knocks on the Mr. Killip's door. The old man opens the door. The child asks for candy. Mr. Killip says he is sick and points to his neck. He asks the kid why he's bothering him. He does not have any candy. We're not giving any candy. Even if he did, he closes the door. Once alone, the trick-or-treater puts his basket down and takes out a spray can of paint. As shaking it up, Mr. Killip opens the door. He tells the child that he knows all the child's tricks and that the police are on their way. The child in the police bunny suit runs away. Mr. Killip returns to their chair. The moment he sits down, his doorbell is ringing again. This time there's a clown trick-or-treater at the door. Mr. Killip answers the door, telling the kid to leave. He tells the child that there is no free food there. If any child soaks his windows, he will call the police. The clown runs. As soon as Mr. Killip opens the door, there's a child in a devil costume. He assumes it's the clown again. At first, while he changes the mask, wait first, he closes the door and tells the child to go to hell. The trick-or-treaters do not leave, so he develops a trick of his own. He mixes together honey, glue, and mayonnaise. Mr. Killip goes back to the door, and the devil is still there. Mr. Killip says that he has goblin candy for the boy and pours the concoction into his bag. As the night continues, the trick-or-treaters stop coming around. Mr. Killip falls asleep in his chair. His television is showing static and a few shots of a goblin face on the screen. He's woken by the sound of his doorbell. Looking at his watch, Mr. Killip knows that it's 11:30 p.m. He lights up a cigarette. As the door buzzer continues to go off, he then gets up from his chair and walks over to the front door of the house. Looking through the blinds, he sees that he has no one on his front porch. His door buzzer continues to ring. However, Mr. Killer walks over to the door, which then opens on its own. Standing outside his door is a short creature. In a gruff voice, the creature says, "Trick or treat." Mr. Killip tells the creature, it's a goblin, he says that they won't get any candy because it's too late, and then he never had any candy to give out anyway. Mr. Killip then closes the door in the face of the trick-or-treater. The door buzzer keeps beating and the doorknob continues to move as the creature is trying to turn it from the other side. Mr. Killip starts backing away from the door, telling the trick-or-treater to go away. He looks through the blinds and sees the bizarre creature looking in at him. He then closes the blind. Mr. Killip walks back over to the door. He tells this creature to go home, but it responds no. Mr. Killip opens the door and tells the creature that it's too late for him to be out trick-or-treating and to go home and tell its mother that it's a wicked child. As Killip tries to close the door, the creature opens it back up. It walks in the door and repeats its request. Walks in and goes over the candy dish to grab some candy. Mr. Killip attempts to stop the creature from taking any candy. He tries to grab it, but the creature grabs his arm and knocks his watch off. It does a backflip and lands outside his porch. It then jumps on the porch railing and waits to Mr. Killip as the door closes. Killip reopens the door, but he sees nothing and he simply closes again. Walking back in the house, Mr. Killip accidentally steps on his watch. The glass cracks. Killip picks up the watch and holds his chair. It's broken. Killip says, "Damn kids." So, you don't want to give candy to any of the children. Because of this, the devil child, he makes the concoction, says it's goblin candy. The irony is, not only that, like a little bit later, a goblin knocks on his door and says, "Hey, I want candy." He says, "I have no candy to give you," but the goblin doesn't break open the door, but pushes himself in the door, takes the candy, and jumps up the window doing a backflip. So the next act, it's the same Halloween evening. He's watching television, Mr. Killip. He notices the burlap bag that the creature dropped on the floor moving. Constantly, he gets out of his chair and pushes the bag. Little bugs start crawling out and scampering across the floor. It's roaches. Killip walks over to the table and picks up his phone. He calls Michael, but instead realizes he has called for the time. He hangs up, redials the phone again, and has called for the time. Killip again only gets the time. It's still midnight. He falls asleep in his chair. Later, the clock still reads midnight. His television is still snowing. There's a flash on the silent creature saying, "Killip." Killip wakes up and looks around the house. He feels like he had to sleep for hours and assumes that must be breakfast time. He slowly gets up and walks over to the phone, picking it up. He gives the time in midnight. Without having to dial, Killip sets the phone back in his cradle. Killip remarks that he still feels like he must have slept for hours. He looks around and can't understand why it's still to be midnight. All the clocks have also stopped. He feels like he's not eaten in days. The refrigerator door opens and an egg falls out and breaks on the floor. Many roaches come out of the cracked egg and scurry on the floor. Killip walks over to the sink and makes a glass of water. There are roaches all over his house. As he drinks the water, the creature from earlier looks in through his window. When he turns to look at it, the creature disappears. Killip remarks that the creature cannot be in a mess. He looks down at his glass of water and sees that it's a glass of roaches. Killip drops the glass on the floor. The door buzzer starts to ring again, while the operator's voice states that the time is still midnight. Killip, he grabs a bat to try to fight the creature, over and over saying tricks or treats. Killip takes his cane and tries to break the window, but the window will not break. The creature's face appears on the TV and says his name. The Killip asks the creature how it knows his name and then breaks the TV with his cane. As he breaks away from the TV, the creature can be seen behind him through the window, standing on the swing of his porch, and sees the creature on the swing. The creature waves at him. When he looks away, he notices that the front door is open. As this creature is suddenly gone from the screen. The creature has increased in size and grabs Killip. It says tricks or treats and scares Killip. Screaming, Killip falls to the floor and hits his head. The creature repeats tricks or treats and walks over to Killip. It pats him on the head and then leaves. The following evening, Michael arrives at his father's house with groceries. He knocks on the window and calls for his father, but gets no answer. Michael takes out his own key and then he enters his house. Michael sees some liquid on the ground and moans about seeing his dad as a sloth. He then walks into the other room and seems shocked. Later, the police are called and tells Michael that he should get a lawyer. Michael is confused as to why, and the police tell him that his father had died from the worst case of neglect they have ever seen. Michael claims he did not neglect his father and was there to see him the night before. However, his father lay dead lays dead on the floor, and the officer says he starves to death with nothing to eat for weeks other than a bag of Halloween candy. So, the creature scares him to death. His son comes the next evening, opens the door, sees that his father's a slob, sees liquid or something. Then he goes to the next room. Michael gets scared. He calls the police. The detectives say, "Hey man, you need a lawyer." Michael says, "Why?" He says, "Your dad has died from the worst case of neglect. All he had to eat was a Halloween candy, and he died. He starved to death." I think this episode is rated probably a 9 out of 10. It's very intense. It has a lot of great segments. It's got bugs. Tom Savini, who did Demon Jason, did the costume of his home at his home for the Goblin. So it's up there in the episodes, and I believe that this episode, it's a good Halloween episode to watch on Halloween, because you know the aspect of it, and the father dying by Halloween candy, and his son not giving a damn because he doesn't have food in the house. It's just irony on so many levels. And you know, the old man getting what's coming to him because he didn't want to give candy to kids on Halloween, which is kind of messed up. So it makes you think. But yeah, this was a good episode, and like I said, a 9 out of 10. And I hope you liked this video.